It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because he just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down, and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please.
That parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. So it's some weird going on out here. I don't know if the clones, I don't put it past nobody. I'm sure they got the technology to do that, but that's not the real Gucci. That's not the real Gucci. Gucci probably dead. I think they killed him in prison.
Hopsin just dropped a bomb claiming he's got the real truth behind the wild Gucci mayonnaise clone rumor, and it's way darker than anyone ever thought. He says Gucci didn't just come out of prison looking different, he came out as someone else. According to Hopsin, the man we're seeing today ain't the same one who went in.
That parading around out here, that ain't the real Gucci, man. So it's some weird going on out here. I don't know if the clones, I don't put it past nobody. I'm sure they got the technology to do that, but that's not the real Gucci. That's not the real Gucci. Gucci probably dead. I think they killed him in prison.
But before we dig into this crazy transformation, let's rewind to where it all started, because you can't talk about Gucci Mane today without revisiting that dark chapter that flipped his whole world upside down. Back in the early 2000s and 2010s, Gucci was spiraling hard. Dude was wilding online, calling out everybody. Nicki, Waka Flocka, Yo Gotti, Birdman, even his own crew.
It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and they told me I had to kind of sacrifice something. They said you're gonna have to pay it back because he just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down, and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please.
He was reckless, heavy on lean fighting charges, catching cases like it was nothing. The streets were whispering that he was losing control fast. Then in 2014, everything came crashing down. Gucci got hit with a federal gun charge after Atlanta cops caught him acting out, swinging on officers and holding heat while under the influence. They sentenced him to 3 years and 3 months behind bars, but thanks to good behavior and time served, he was out in about 2 years flat.
Wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, they could have just switched to medication, and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue.
And here's where things took a wild turn. When Gucci walked out in 2016, fans lost their minds. The man who stepped out of that prison didn't look, sound, or even move like the old Gucci. The old Gucci was bloated, slurred, always off something. But the new Gucci? Slim, clean cut, smiling, sober, ripped, like he just stepped out of a fitness magazine. It was so shocking people couldn't help but ask, was this really the same man?
Please.
No, you got the shot, but I'm saying
It was not good, but I respect you.
It's that's my thing. It's you don't even know. Y'all just jump up on people like this, and it's just
I apologize if I caused you trouble, and you told me to stop, and I stopped.
When Gucci started speaking again, people noticed something strange. His voice was smoother, his interviews calm, his whole vibe totally flipped. The internet went wild overnight. Twitter, Reddit, and every blog out there were screaming the same headline: Gucci Mane cloned in prison. It blew up so fast folks couldn't believe what they were seeing. But it didn't stop there.
Enough to have him as my graduate advisor. And the area that I was interested in was how food affect muscular performance. And
when you say drugs, are that like performance-enhancing drugs, or are they
all kinds of drugs?
Right, okay.
So working for the military, I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things.
Gucci's ex-girlfriend, Mac Bree, jumped online and reignited the rumor, making it explode all over again. She claimed straight up that the man walking around now wasn't the same Gucci she used to know. She said his eyes looked different, his speech didn't sound right, and his whole energy was gone. Bree swore the real Gucci got taken out in prison and replaced by some trained lookalike built to act like him. And things got even weirder when she tried to reach out.
They tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me. And when I asked them, how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly? It took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music.
Every time Bree got close, Gucci's new wife, Keishia Kapware, shut her down hard. Wouldn't let her talk too long, wouldn't even let her breathe near him. Bree said it felt like Keishia was hiding something, like she was a handler, guarding a secret, making sure the new Gucci didn't slip up and expose himself. Then Nicki Minaj threw even more fuel on the chaos when she came for Keishia online. Nicki called her out, saying, Gucci's wife has been trying to be me for years, been dying for the spotlight for years. She's there to keep Gucci sedated. That line had everyone's head spinning. It fit perfectly with what Mac Bree was already claiming, that Keishia wasn't just his wife, she was the one keeping clone Gucci under control. The streets have been watching closely, and everyone's saying Keishia got total control over Gucci's life. She runs his socials, manages his bookings, and fans swear she's the reason he's always on point, moving like a machine. People started side-eyeing the whole situation, wondering if she's really his wife or more like his handler. Then Gucci himself tried to shut all that talk down. He jumped online and posted this long message saying, in a way, I feel like I grew. I kind of morphed into a different person, shared some of my old ways. I can say I grew up. I love the person I was, I love the person I am, and I love the person I grew to be. I tried to lose weight, take care of myself, change my thinking, my environment, and my associates. The ones that wasn't benefiting me, I guess that's the transformation everybody's saying they can't believe, but I can believe it. That statement was supposed to shut down all the clone talk, but it did the exact opposite. The hood said the old Gucci could barely put two sentences together without that raw street energy. And now this version sounded way too polished, like he was reading straight off a teleprompter. Fans couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. And just when people were starting to let the whole clone rumor fade away, Hopsin jumped on IG Live and blew the internet up. He claimed some powerful industry elites forced him into becoming Gucci's clone. Hopsin said they cornered him in an all-white room and made him choose, either take the clone deal or risk his family's safety. The story sounded straight out of a movie, but it had everyone online screaming, what if it's true? At first, everybody laughed it off. They said Hopsin was just doing another one of his wild skits. But now, years later, with how strange the industry's been moving, that joke is starting to sound like a real leak in disguise. People are starting to wonder if he was actually telling the truth the whole time. And if you think it stops with Gucci, you haven't been paying attention. The clone talk has been spreading all over Hollywood. Gucci might have been the first big name folks pointed at, but he definitely ain't the only one. Just look at the whole Kanye West situation. It's got people shook. Before Kanye disappeared for weeks, he literally said, if I disappear and come back, that won't be me. Then boom, 2 weeks later, he pops back up clean-shaven, calm, and suddenly married to Bianca out of nowhere. Fans said his voice sounded different, his energy felt robotic, and his interviews were way too quiet. People even started posting side-by-side clips online, saying he was too calm, too sharp, too articulate, like someone hit the reset button on his entire personality. But here's where things get really eerie. That same handler talk people threw at Gucci's wife, fans connected it to Kanye's ex-trainer, Harley Pasternak, the same guy who threatened to lock Kanye back up and reprogram him after Kanye started saying too much. Once people started digging into Harley's past, they found out he wasn't just a celebrity trainer. He actually worked with the Canadian military, studying how drugs and psychological conditioning affect human behavior. That's not just some gym background, that's next-level science stuff. And it didn't stop there. Allegedly, Harley tried to put Kanye on heavy doses of lithium, the same stuff that reports say was given to Britney Spears and even Michael Jackson. We all saw how that ended. It wasn't therapy, it was straight-up sedation. Fans are now saying maybe these transformations ain't self-improvement stories at all. Maybe they're control tactics hiding in plain sight. And now, people are starting to connect even more dots. The clone theory isn't just about rappers anymore. It's creeping into every corner of entertainment. Some fans say it's not just random that so many stars come back from rehab, retreats, or mental breaks looking brand new, sounding rehearsed, and acting like strangers to their old selves. It's like one by one, the biggest names get replaced with smoother, calmer versions of who they used to be. Take Doja Cat, for example. She came back after that online meltdown looking completely different. Her energy shifted, her interviews felt off, and her music started sounding cold and calculated instead of wild and spontaneous. Fans even joked, that's not Doja, that's Doja 2.0. But when you look close, the jokes start feeling a little too close to the truth. Then there's Eminem. People been saying the same thing for years. Old M was raw, reckless, and unfiltered. The new version, polished, soft-spoken, and eerily calm, like someone rewrote his personality. His facial structure even sparked rumors. People posting side-by-sides, swearing his jawline and eyes don't match the original. And don't forget about Avril Lavigne, one of the earliest and most famous clone rumors ever. Fans still insist she was swapped out after her hiatus, and that the new Avril's voice, handwriting, and body language never truly matched the old one. All these stories are blending into something bigger, a growing belief that Hollywood's cloning or reprogramming people who go off script. Some say it's part of keeping the industry's image under control. Others think it's deeper, a whole system built to erase any star who starts questioning the machine. It sounds wild, but look around. Every time a celebrity speaks out or acts unpredictable, they vanish for a bit, then come back acting brand new. Fans are saying it's no coincidence. It's a pattern. Whatever's happening behind the curtains, one thing's for sure. The clone talk isn't going away anytime soon. So now we're seeing the same pattern, just with different names. And people are starting to say it all connects. Gucci, Kanye, Britney, all tangled up in this strange web of control, meds, and overnight transformations. When you line it all up, it starts looking wild. Gucci going to prison one way and walking out clean-cut, calm, and unrecognizable. Then his ex comes forward saying, that's not him. His wife acting more like a handler than a partner. Hopsin claiming the elites forced him into a Gucci suit. Kanye dropping cryptic warnings about disappearing. It all paints a picture that's way too strange to ignore. The internet keeps calling it a conspiracy, but come on, the timing's too exact, the energy too off. Hollywood's starting to look less like fame and more like a lab experiment. And it might just be the only place on earth where a man can vanish one way, return another, and people just clap like it's a glow-up story. But the streets aren't buying that narrative. They're calling it what it feels like, a cover-up. One user wrote, the real Gucci Mane died in prison, and someone close to him came out saying it. That same person allegedly died right after. Another chimed in saying, Gucci's ex been knowing him longer than anybody, and if she says that's not him, I believe it. The clone doesn't hang around Gucci's real family or old friends because they'd spot the difference instantly. Fans even claim they've seen interviews where Keisha has to guide Gucci on what to say, like she's his script coach, or as they say, his handler. It's eerie, and it's got everybody wondering, did something darker really go down behind those prison walls? And if Gucci really got swapped out for a replacement, how many other rappers out here walking around looking, sounding, and smiling just a little too perfect? Drop your thoughts below and stay tuned, because this saga is far from over. And trust me, if you thought this story was crazy, wait until you see what's coming next.